Hello, students. So, today we are going to start with the second part of the second lesson of chemistry, that is chemical equation and reaction. And today, basically, we are going to complete the different types of chemical reaction. As we know, there are in total basic five types of chemical reaction. First one is combustion reaction, second one is decomposition reaction, third one is displacement reaction, fourth, double displacement reaction, and the last one, known as redox reaction or oxidation reduction reaction. Please remember all these chemical reaction involves the breaking and making of bond between atoms and production of new substance. We have learned this in your last class that a chemical reaction takes place and always a new product is formed. Now look at the first type of chemical reaction, that is combination reaction. Now what is combination? The word itself indicates combination means to combine. When in a single reaction two reactants combine to give a single product, it is called as combination reaction. You can look at the example formation of water. Hydrogen combines with oxygen to produce water. You may have seen burning of magnesium. Now, when magnesium burns in air, it produces Mg plus O2. Please remember, burning means reaction with oxygen. It will give you 2 MgO. So here, magnesium and oxygen are combining to produce magnesium oxide. So here you can see two reactants are combining to give me a single product. Similarly, hydrogen reacts with oxygen. Both are gaseous to produce water. Now to balance it, we'll put 2 in front of H2 and 2 in front of H2O. Please remember, we have to always write balanced chemical equation because chemical equations always follows the law of conservation of mass. That matter is neither created nor destroyed. Here you can see you have 4 atoms of hydrogen on the reactant side and 4 atoms on the product side. 2 atoms on the oxygen on the reactant side and 2 atoms on the product side. Here you can see hydrogen and oxygen are combining. Two elements are combining and giving me a single product, that is water. Therefore, this is example of combination reaction. Other examples of combination, if you see burning of natural gas, again here uh, methane and oxygen are combining and producing carbon dioxide and water. Coal burns in presence of oxygen produces carbon dioxide. This is one of the main cause of our pollution, that is air pollution. Now, decomposition reaction. What is decomposition? Decompose means to break. Now, the reaction in which single reactants break down to form simpler product. The best example is given in a book. You can see, or in simpler words, you can understand when a single reactant split into two or more different products, it is called as decomposition reaction. Now, decomposition reaction is further classified into three categories. The three categories are thermal decomposition, that means decomposition due to heat, photolysis or photochemical decomposition. Please remember, photolysis, the other name of the same reaction is photochemical decomposition. And the third one is electrolysis or electrochemical decomposition. From the word itself, you can understand. Therm in science means heat. When decomposition is carried in presence of heat, it is called as thermal decomposition. Example of thermal decomposition is calcium carbonate. When heated, you can write a triangle on the arrow that indicates heat. Will give you calcium oxide, that is CaO, plus carbon dioxide. Now, this is an example of thermal decomposition because you are heating calcium carbonate to obtain calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Similarly, in photochemical decomposition, when silver chloride or silver bromide is exposed to sunlight, it decomposes to silver and chlorine gas. Now, chlorine gas is yellowish green in color. So, if chlorine gas is evolved from a solution, you can see yellowish green flames on the solution. Now, if you have observed your liquid medicines like your cough syrup or any other liquid medicine, mostly the medicines are kept in colored bottles. And on the medicine, it is written, please keep away from direct sunlight because those medicines may contain certain compounds which undergo photochemical decomposition. A question may be asked in the examination for 1 or 2 marks. That is why silver bromide or silver chloride kept in dark colored bottles. You can directly write the answer as silver chloride or silver bromide undergoes photochemical decomposition when exposed to direct sunlight. Therefore, to avoid direct sunlight, these compounds, that is silver chloride or silver bromide, are stored in dark colored bottles. Please remember the use of silver chloride also, it is important. It is used in white and black photography. In the earlier days, in the photographic negatives, we had this silver chloride. Then the next type of reaction is uh, we have done thermal decomposition or thermolysis, photodecomposition or photolysis. The third type is called as electrolytic decomposition or electrolysis. Now, what is electrolysis actually? When we pass current through a electrolyte. Now, if I dissolve sodium chloride in water, that becomes my electrolyte. I'll take electrolyte in a container. I'll immerse two electrodes here. One is positive electrode and the second one is negative electrode. When I pass electric current through these electrodes, please remember, as this one is attached to negative terminal, so this is negative electrode called as anode, and this is positive terminal called as cathode. This is positive and this is negative. Now, when sodium chloride dissolves in water, it produces Na plus ion and Cl minus ion. Now, Na plus ion will move towards negative electrode and Cl minus ion will move towards positive electrode. Here, the decomposition of sodium chloride takes place due to the passage of electric current. Therefore, it is known as electrolytic decomposition or electrolysis. You can see in your presentation, it says it results when an electric current passes through an aqueous solution. The uses of electrolytic decomposition are electrolysis of water is the decomposition of water into oxygen and hydrogen gas due to an electric current. Now you can do the same thing. You can take the same electrolytic setup, take some water in the container, add a small amount of acid to it for the electrolysis to take place because pure water is a bad conductor of electricity. It does not allow electric current to pass through it. When you add a small amount of impurity like any acid, it increases the electrical conductivity of water. Place two electrodes, that is cathode and anode. One is positive, other one is negative. Put an inverted test tube over the electrodes. Now you will see the amount of gas collected in a positive electrode is half the amount collected or the gas collected in negative electrode. Now let's say in the test tube which I have marked it as green color, I have one gas in that, and the test tube which I have marked with blue color is the other gas. Now you can see in one test tube the gas collected is twice that of the other one. Like in this test tube, the amount of gas collected is twice that of that in this test tube. Let's say A and B. In test tube B, the amount of gas collected is twice that of gas collected in test tube A. So which gas is there in test tube B? The gas is hydrogen. In test tube A, the gas is oxygen. How I came to know? Now please remember the molecular formula of water is H2O. When one molecule of water splits, it gives me two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. That means the amount of hydrogen collected is twice the amount of hydrogen. Now, suppose I take 30 liters of water. In 30 liters of water, I will have 20 liters of hydrogen and 10 liters of oxygen. Therefore, the gas collected hydrogen is twice that of oxygen. You can see on the presentation I have written the electrolytic decomposition of sodium chloride. Now is displacement reaction. Students, to remember displacement reaction or to understand displacement reaction, we have to recall activity series or reactivity series, which we have done in our 7th and 8th standard. What is reactivity series? It is the arrangement of elements in the decreasing order of their reactivity. If you remember, we had learned the series in a queue. I'll just recall it again. The elements in the reactivity series are sodium, potassium, sorry. It's potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, and at the end gold. Now, potassium is the most reactive, therefore it is placed at the top, and gold is the least reactive, so it is kept at bottom. And reactivity decreases from top to bottom. And the element of elements in the decreasing order of their reactivity is called as reactivity series. You have to remember this series. Now, why we are learning this in displacement reaction is a more reactive element can displace a less reactive element, but the opposite is not possible. That means less reactive element cannot displace a more reactive element. Now let's look at an example. If I place some iron nail in copper sulfate solution, now we all know that copper sulfate solution is blue in color. Now, if you see, iron is above copper in the reactivity series. Iron is here and copper is here. Now, so iron is more reactive than copper. Therefore, iron can displace copper from copper sulfate solution, and your product obtained is FeSO4 plus Cu. Now, copper sulfate is blue in color, whereas ferrous sulfate is green in color. As I told you in the earlier class, please remember characteristics of chemical reaction, change of color. Here you can see blue color changes to green color and a brown colored substance deposited, that is of copper. So here we have seen as iron is more reactive than copper, therefore iron is displacing copper from copper sulfate solution. From where do we come to know which element is more reactive? This we can conclude from the reactivity series. So you have to remember the reactivity series to check whether the displacement reaction will take place or not. Now there are two types of displacement reaction. One is single displacement and the other one is double displacement. In single displacement, you can see A plus B, AB plus C gives you AC plus B. Now A is going with C, so it is displacement. The same example, FP plus USO4 gives you FPSO4 C is given in double displacement. Now the exchange of cations takes place. Now A will go in place of C and C will come in place of A. Therefore, it is known as double displacement reaction. In similar form, you can remember in double displacement reaction, exchange of cations takes place. Let's see further. Double displacement reaction is again further categorized into two different categories. Now there are two different categories. The first one is known as neutralization reaction, and the second one is known as precipitation reaction. Again, just to recollect, in neutralization as well as in precipitation, exchange of cation will take place. But the difference is in neutralization reaction, acid reacts with base to produce salt and water, whereas precipitation reaction, two compounds interchange their cations and form an insoluble salt, and that insoluble salt is called as precipitate. Let's take example of neutralization first to understand neutralization. The simple representation of neutralization reaction is acid plus base will give you salt plus water. Now let's take an example. Like NaOH is a base, HCl is an acid. Will give me NaCl plus H2. How I got the product? Na goes in place of H and H comes in place of Na. Now you can see when Na goes in place of H, the product found is NaCl. HOH means water. Here an acid reacts with the base to produce salt and water. Therefore, this reaction is known as neutralization reaction. I hope the things are clear to you. Now, the next type, precipitation reaction. I said exchange of cations takes place and an insoluble salt is formed. In case of neutralization reaction, please keep this in highlight that in case of neutralization reaction, the salt which is formed is soluble in water, whereas the salt which is formed by precipitation reaction is insoluble in water. Look at an example of precipitation reaction like silver nitrate plus NaCl will give me, now Ag will go in place of Na and Na will come in place of Ag, double displacement, exchange of cations, you can see. Now what are cations? Just to recollect, cations are positive ions. So my product would be AgCl plus NaNO3. So here we can see exchange of cation has taken place. And this AgCl which is formed is the precipitate, and we indicate precipitate by a down arrow. The same reaction is given here for precipitation reaction. The next part, which is redox reaction. Now please remember, redox reaction is combination of two reaction. One is oxidation and the second one is reduction. Either you have to remember oxidation or reduction. One is enough, second is opposite to the first one. Like if I want to remember what is oxidation, gain of oxygen, loss of hydrogen, loss of electron is called as oxidation. So what will be reduction? Reduction will be opposite to oxidation. Gain of hydrogen, loss of oxygen, gain of electron is reduction. The substance which undergoes oxidation behaves as a reducing agent, and the substance which undergoes reduction behaves as a oxidizing agent. It's a little confusing, so you can remember this with the word or and RO. Or means oxidation, reduction. So the substance undergoes oxidation will behave as a reducing agent, and the substance undergoes reduction will behave as oxidizing agent. The word simple, ORRO. O means oxidation, R means reduction, R means reducing agent, O means oxidizing agent. So you can recollect and connect it that the substance undergoes oxidation behaves as reducing agent, and the substance undergoes reduction behaves as oxidizing agent. Now here in the presentation I've clearly done a redox reaction is a type of chemical reaction which involves a transfer of electrons between two species. What are the two species? Those are cations and anions. Now let's look at an example. The example which is given in your presentation, copper oxide plus water plus hydrogen gives you copper plus water. Here you can clearly see that copper oxide gets converted to copper. That means loss of oxygen has taken place. And what is loss of oxygen? It is reduction. At the same time, hydrogen is gaining oxygen. So it is undergoing oxidation. So now here copper oxide undergoes reduction and behaves as oxidizing agent, whereas hydrogen undergoes oxidation and behaves as reducing agent. You can see why I'm calling copper oxide as oxidizing agent, because copper is oxidizing hydrogen to form water. At the same time, why I'm calling hydrogen as reducing agent, because hydrogen is removing oxygen from copper oxide to become water. So I believe, guys, you are clear with the concept of oxidation reduction, oxidizing agent, and reducing agent. Go through your textbook. You can clearly see the definitions mentioned here. Oxidizing agent, it is a substance which gives oxygen or gain hydrogen. It can also be termed as it reduces itself and oxidized other. Whereas reducing agent, it is a substance which gains oxygen or give hydrogen. It can also be termed as it is oxidized itself and reduced other. In the next class, I'm going to summarize the lesson, wherein I'm going to take some of the question answers from your textual part. As an assignment from your book, you have to write down all the five definitions of the reaction. Which are those five definitions? First one is combination. Second one is decomposition. In decomposition, you have to write down three definitions. That is for thermal decomposition, electrolysis, and photolysis. Then you have to write down the definition of displacement reaction. Then double displacement. In double displacement, you have to copy down the definition of neutralization reaction, precipitation reaction. Then you have to write down the definition of redox reaction. In redox reaction, you also have to write down the definition of oxidation, reduction, oxidizing agent, and reducing agent. While writing these definitions, you have to copy down at least two examples for each definition from your textbook. In case of any queries, please let me know. I hope that, guys, you are enjoying learning. and you are staying safe at home. So please keep on helping your parents and be in touch with your studies. Thank you and have a great day.